Hi, English 111. Miss Brewer here for your, what week is this? I don't even know. Week 8? Yeah. Week 8, which means we're more than halfway done with the course. And this week you should be revising your literary analysis essay, and hopefully you completed your peer edit last week. I'll be getting to those at some point during the week and looking through those, just making sure you guys reviewed each other and you filled out the form and submitted it for your peer edit grade. I do open up your rough drafts just to ensure that they have works cited pages and they are complete in order to give you the complete points for that. So we're moving on and covering really quickly, just kind of starting argument, giving some background to argument this week, and then we're going to start your argument essay next week. So this is kind of some information about argument. So your lesson, that's the PowerPoint, is on ethos, pathos, and logos. So if you want to make sure you go ahead and open up that PowerPoint with me now, and you can, you don't have to look at me. You can follow along on the PowerPoint with me. I'm just going to quickly go through it. So the PowerPoint just kind of tells you, Aristotle is the person who came up with this idea of rhetoric, and rhetoric is essentially just using language to persuade or to argue, okay? The goal of persuasion here is to make someone think a certain way or do something or something to that effect. And he essentially said that there are 3 things that kind of make up the idea of rhetoric, and those are ethos, pathos, and logos, which are different various ways to argue, and these are, obviously Latin terms. So the definition is here on slide 4. It tells you that logos means logic, ethos means ethics or someone's image, and pathos means the emotions or the passions that we have. And what you want to remember is that logos is presenting an argument for the listener or the reader to use their own logic to kind of figure through, right? And pathos plays on the emotions or the passions of the listener or the reader. Ethos, on the other hand, presents the speaker as an ethical person, okay? So that's the ethos. So the ethos is the image that you want to present as a speaker, all right? So it's not playing on the ethics of the audience like the other 2 are. It's presenting yourself as either an expert or an ethical person, and that's why the listener or the reader should agree with me or do what I say. So that's important to remember. So then as you click through, you can see that by using the language, you can persuade or argue, and we will live, just so you guys know, when you write your research papers in logos. So you won't be using passions, you won't be using yourself or ethics or anything like that. You will be presenting facts and research and data to back up what you're going to say. And we'll get into that next week. So then as you click through, we're on slide 6. Logos is based on facts, evidence, and reason. Using logos means that you're appealing to your reader's sense of what is logical, okay? So you're saying, here are the facts, and I know you can make a wise decision, or I know you can, figure it out. And that's what logos does, whereas ethos is based on the character of the person speaking. Okay, so there's a video that you guys are going to watch this week will really kind of show what that looks like. And then pathos is when you use an argument based on feelings. So essentially I like to say, logos, you think of, stats and data and research and those types of things. Ethos is you think of politicians, and they try to present themselves as ethical people, and they're all liars, but still they try to present themselves that way. And then pathos, you think of that like Sarah McLachlan singing in the background, sad puppies in cages and babies, essentially, okay? Playing on the passions of someone, the emotions of someone, okay? So I'm going to scroll on, and then there's just some pictures: logos, brain; ethos, again, with that political ideal; and then pathos, you know, babies and puppies. So you have some written examples in your PowerPoint just to kind of read through. But what you need to know for your final exam, and what you need to know for argument in general, is that rhetoric is the art of using language for persuasion, and that rhetoric is created either through ethos, pathos, or logos. And those things will be on your final exam, so be prepared for that. And underneath the PowerPoint lesson in the description there, you'll need to copy and paste that YouTube link. But that YouTube link is really awesome. It is about 22 minutes of video, and it shows you a snippet of some actors in South Africa working on the play Julius Caesar. The argument presented in Julius Caesar and the rhetoric in the speeches is considered to be some of the best ever written. And the actors kind of decode, if you will, how that works, and they kind of even give you a visual of how those speeches get people persuaded to listen and to do things. So if you want that visual and have a deeper understanding of ethos, pathos, and logos, I highly suggest you watch that YouTube video. The link is located right underneath the PowerPoint. There's a practice for you guys to do this week on run-on sentences and fragments. Again, I'm expecting not to see these things in your papers. And then you are revising your final draft of your essay. So the peer edit has been done, and then there's a link to Grammarly that you can submit your paper to revise, and there's also a link to NetTutor, which I suggest you submit that pretty quickly to get it back in time to turn in your paper on Sunday. So you'll turn your paper in by Sunday night, and that'll be graded within the next 2 weeks. And make sure you get your journal response turned in by Sunday night. Those are the two things that you're turning in this week. So you've already written the paper, and now you need to make sure you revise it, okay? And I suggest getting 2 revisions. So the peer edit, revise that, and then submit it to either Grammarly or NetTutor or both before it comes to me. If you have questions, be sure to email me. I will check my email on Sunday morning because you guys have a paper due, but it will be in the morning. So if you email me at 3 p.m. on Sunday asking me a question about the paper, you're not going to hear from me before it's due. So make sure you do get in touch with me before Sunday morning if you have questions, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And best of luck revising your papers. And when you do that journal, we're moving on. This is a new topic, so write about a social issue that you feel passionately about, okay? And we'll get moving on our argument essay, which is next. I will check in with you guys next week. Have a great week.